Do you know the future of America depends on Black America? Let's get into it. Whether America admits it or not, its future depends on Black America more than any other group. Not because of numbers, not because of politics, but because the soul of this country was shaped, refined, and carried by Black people. America knows it. The world knows it. And deep down, Black Americans know it too. Now, let's talk about the truth and then the identity plus also the history. From the moment America began, Black Americans have done the impossible. They have built a country that refused to build them. They shaped a culture that refused to credit them. They held up a flag that didn't protect them, and yet Black America became the heartbeat of the nation. Everything that makes America recognizable comes from Black America. The music, the style, the language, the creativity, the fight of freedom, the moral conscience of the nation. America's greatest movement, civil rights, justice, equalities, were born from Black pain and Black courage. Black America, right? Without Black America, America collapses spiritually, culturally, and morally. You believe that? Whether you believe it or not, that is the truth. Anyways, I know the real ones believe it. The ones who will say no is a lie are the ones who are not really foundational Black Americans. But if you're foundational Black Americans, you have no right to say, oh, in fact, you can't say it's a lie because you know it's embedded in you. Anyways, watch these videos right. After these videos, I will come with the closing part of this. You don't want to miss it. If you're Black America, you need this. It will help you. Keep watching. I'll be back.
Without foundational Black Americans, America has nothing. No future, no culture, no soul. Strip us out of the story and watch this whole nation collapse in real time. The truth is simple. They live off of us while lying to our faces. They steal our inventions, erase our names, eat our food, copy our slang, dance to our beats, and then dare to act like we're disposable. Without us, they stall. Without us, they starve. Without us, they stop moving. We gave you the personal computer. Mark Dean, a foundational Black American, co-created the IBM PC, holding 3 of the 9 original patents. Without him, there is no laptop, no smartphone, no internet. Every email, every TikTok, every algorithm, his genius built the world you live in. And yet they hand the credit to everyone but us. We gave you video games. Jerry Lawson invented the cartridge system. That invention became the backbone of a $200 billion industry. Every console you plug in, every game you load, traces back to him. But they crowned others kings of innovation while leaving his name in the shadows. We gave you GPS. Dr. Gladys West, a Black woman, mapped the Earth itself so satellites could guide you. Every Uber ride, every plane, every ship, every map app, without her, the world is lost. Yet how many schools teach her name? We gave you Mars rovers. Dr. Ayanna Howard, an FBA roboticist, coded the brains that let those machines move. Without her, they sit dead on red dirt. With her, the stars open. We gave you the space race itself. Katherine Johnson's calculations launched Apollo to the moon. Mae Jemison took us into orbit. Victor Glover lived months aboard the ISS. Aisha Bowe is about to fly with Blue Origin. They love to say they conquered space, but who actually put the numbers on the board? It was us and our children. They are already building the next world. Elena Annalee Wicker, accepted into medical school at 13, NASA intern and founder of Brown STEM Girl. Taylor Richardson, astronaut Starbright, raising millions to fund science opportunities for girls. Across the country, FBA youth are coding AI, inventing medical devices, filing patents. They are the living proof that the God particle never stopped moving forward. It just got younger, sharper, and more fearless. Why us? Because we are convergence. We are the only people forged through every storm. African, Indigenous, European, Pacific, threads woven together into one people. Unlike bottleneck populations, we are the widest blueprint on Earth. That means adaptability. That means survival in changing climates and shifting societies in space itself. When the world bends, we don't break, we bend it back. And at the core of all of this is melanin, the God particle. Eumelanin, the armor shielding DNA from radiation, vital for space and a warming planet. Neuromelanin, the spark in the brain linking rhythm, creativity, and memory to dopamine itself. It's not just pigment, it's a superconductor, a living archive, a biological technology no lab can synthesize. It's why our rhythm moves the earth. It's why our memory survives erasure. It's why every beat, every dish, every invention keeps birthing revolutions, whether they want it to or not. And still, they steal, they rename, they rebrand. They hand Elvis the crown for rock and roll while burying Little Richard and Chuck Berry. They call soul food Southern cuisine while stripping it of our struggle. They turn hip hop into pop and sell it back to us watered down. They whitewash history while living off of our frequency. So here's the question. If we gave them the computers, the games, the maps, the rockets, the music, the food, the slang, the swagger, what did they actually create without us? What is America without FBA? Nothing but a parasite feeding on its host. And the truth is, they know it. That's why they fight so hard to erase our names. That's why they build walls around opportunity. That's why they sterilized us, jailed us, flooded our neighborhoods with drugs, and still try to bury our brilliance. Because if the world knew the full truth, that their entire reality is built on our genius, the revolution would already be here. So let me say it plain. We don't just create culture. We are the culture. We don't just build tools. We are the architects of survival. We don't just adapt. We are the blueprint for the future. And that future isn't just 3D. It's 5D, 7D, infinite. Because melanin doesn't just protect the body, it encodes memory across dimensions. Our rhythm isn't just sound, it's vibration that reshapes reality. Our culture isn't just influence, it's the frequency of creation itself. So here it is, the sun is rising, the God particle is awake. And if the world lives off our genius, our inventions, our rhythm, our blueprint, then the future is not theirs, it's ours. The question isn't whether we're ready. The question is, how long are we going to keep letting them eat off us without paying the price of admission to the world we already built? Because the revolution isn't coming. The revolution is already here. The only thing left is for us to step into it.
I'm talking about black people in leadership and the ability for us to advance in that leadership. There has never been a place where we have had the majority of leadership at a state level, Democrat or Republican. As black folk, when we were Republicans and we elected a bunch of black folks, we never had the majority. We got to parity during Reconstruction. Mm-hmm. We never got to the majority. And we were Republicans then. Now we are Democrats. There's not a place in this country where black people have become the majority. I've been talking about a new black South for the last 8-9 years because the only way black people in America are ever going to see true equity and justice is when the black folks that move to Detroit and LA and New York and Newark and all of these places come back to the South and we get critical mass. Louisiana's 33%.
Why would 34. They move out
Louisiana's
of those
34%.
Economic boom houses that you just mentioned.
Because we need to be willing to build something. Because we as black people need to be willing to build something.
Why would black people leave? Which is a great question. Why would they leave out of those great economic places where they're doing well with their families? Why would they leave and come back to the South?
She already said they're leaving because there's a ton of them leaving because of the affordability issues, and we understand that. The second piece of that is there's a bunch of us that need to be willing to build something, to commit to building,
to make the sacrifice.
To building something that is lasting. The same way after Reconstruction, when we had nothing, we built black institutions. We built black hospitals. We built black community centers. We built all of the things that we have. Howard Hospital exists because black people came together and said, we need an education for our children. Southern University Law Center exists because black people came together and said that they wanted to have a place to educate themselves. We need to get back in the business of building something that is lasting for us. And the only place that we as black people can get critical mass is the South. Again, to my point, Mississippi is 37% black. Louisiana's 34% black. Georgia's 33% black. If a pinch of our cousins leave Detroit, LA, San Francisco, and all of these cities and come back to the South and commit to building, good sister, then we can have the future that we desire. And the individualism that you talk about and all of those things is possible, but it's possible in a safety net of black leadership.
I'm fucking with the niggas that kill people, the gangsters, the rappers, the killers. And I'm saying, I'll call the police on you niggas. I'll tell on you niggas. And the community saying I'm the villain because I'm attacking the villains. That blew my mind. So that gave me the fuel to even keep playing the villain. I wouldn't care who died. Fuck they baby. They kill people. They don't give a damn when we die over here. Fuck them people. But I don't mean that, but I can come online and play whatever I want to play, just like most of y'all go on there and play whatever you want to play. Play like you're having a good day and you can barely pay your rent.
Thanks.
Playing like God is good and your gas light on. Man, ain't no way in the world you believe God good and your gas light on and you can't borrow no money from nobody. Man, you just talking.
And as we transition into the future, do you think we will be able to revitalize the minds of black people as we transition, as far as like the younger demographic of people?
No. No. There won't be no reviving. It don't get better, it gets worse. It has to come to an end so something new can come about. Unless there's a war in America, I can see nothing that would ever change the trajectory of America, whether that's a civil war or a foreign war. Right now, politically, we're at the brink and the verge of a civil war politically between the Democrats and Republicans with Trump, and we're at a civil war. That's just politically. Nationally, there are 99 different tongues in America, and nobody is adhering to America's old custom and traditions but the old white Americans. So we divided as a nation. There won't be an attack from the outside, it'll be from within, just like the 9/11 attacks. So who's prepared for it? Surely not black people. We're the only group that's trying to have fun in today's atmosphere and climate. Everybody else is preparing for what's to come. So our children have no survival skills, no survival tactics. They don't even know how to take the bean out the bean bag in the cabinet and put it in a white styrofoam cup with some dirt and put it in the window and pour water in it and watch it grow. They don't even teach that in school no more.
Mm-hmm. And that's mainly because instant gratification plagued this generation.
Indoctrination starts in the classroom. They're indoctrinated to be docile robots. They're indoctrinated to be like this. What are we doing at home to counter or to counteract what's being done to us? If we say homosexuality is being portrayed and propagated and projected to our children, what are you doing to counter that attack? Nothing. They can go in their room with their cell phones at nighttime and look up whatever porn site they know how to spell. We used to have to go look under the bed, in the closet, to try to find the porn. Today's children, all they have to do is think and imagine, envision, and type it into a phone, and it comes to life to them.
Black people and forward-thinking people in America, I want to talk to you for a second, considering the outcome of last night's election. White America showed us where they are. The rest of us need to show them where we are. The Democratic Party has a failed electoral strategy, and I'm going to use Texas and Ohio and the spending there to show you if they put the money somewhere else, they're going to get a higher return on their investment and therefore have a different outcome in these elections. They need a new Southern strategy. America's supposed to be this great melting pot, but there's some people who want to put too much salt in the soup consistently. And so what we need is an understanding of where is the base of the party. 55% of black people live in the Deep South. What the results last night show you is over 80% of black people voted for the Democratic ticket. Louisiana and Mississippi have been underinvested historically by the Democratic Party. Texas has not elected a U.S. senator since 1988 that was a Democrat, yet they continue to spend $90 million this year and millions in other races to try to flip Texas blue again. Ohio has had Senator Brown in that position, but it's clear Ohio's leaning red and not going in any other direction. And the percentage of black people in the population, that's too much pressure on the black vote there to try to turn it out to make it work. However, if you take that investment of $50 million that they spent in Ohio, $90 million that they spent in Texas, convert that, let's just say we spent $90 million a piece in Louisiana and Mississippi. Instead of getting around $20 and $30 per vote, you'll end up getting around $100 per vote. What does that mean? In Texas, Texas, you need to get 5 million people to vote in order to win one of these elections. In Louisiana, you need to get about 700,000 people to vote in order to win these elections. And there are 942,000 registered black voters in the state of Louisiana. In Mississippi, the numbers are similar. They have a higher percentage of black people in the state of Louisiana. About 37% of the state is black. If you invest the money there, you'll get a higher return on investment. Democrats have won statewide races in Louisiana more recently than in Texas. In 2015, Democrats won the governor's race. In 2019, they won the governor's race. In 2008, there was a U.S. senator from Louisiana until 2014. And every time there's been over $10 million raised for the Democrat in one of those races, they've won statewide. Where the money is, so will the return on the vote. How do we know? Because in Georgia, Senator Warnock and Senator Ossoff both had over $100 million invested in their campaigns. The state is over 30% black. They won their races. Stacey Abrams also led that charge with over $100 million raised in her campaign and mobilizing black voters. Where there's an investment, you can get a return on an investment if the population is proportional. In Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, the black vote is under 20% of the population. In Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, the black vote is over 20% of the population. At the end of the day, you're going to get a better return on the investment where you have a higher percentage of the population already in agreement with you. You already know that over 80% of black people believe that the policies of the Democratic Party will advance the economy, protect their rights, and advance the future of their children. So why are you trying to convince people who don't like you, don't agree with you, and want too much salt in the soup that they should support these ideals? We should just cater the resources to the places where we're going to get the highest return on investment. Maryland just elected a black U.S. senator last night that's a Democrat. Why? The state's over 30% black. Same with Delaware. When we look at where we're going to get a return on the investment, and if we as black people are going to take what we saw last night serious, we got to get serious about applying pressure to the black elite, the party, and everybody in between about paying attention to who is really the base, the backbone, and the future of preserving democracy in America. Because white America shows you that they can ignore the plights of so many other groups of people, and that people who desire a proximity to whiteness will ignore your plight too. So for all the people who say, why am I always talking about black folk? Because black folks consistently do the right thing as according to trying to save democracy or advance democracy. And so if we're going to do this, it's going to be through a new Southern strategy. And the numbers can produce a different return on investment if you look at different places.
40% of this country is black and brown today. In 10 years, there'll be a majority of minorities. About 40% of this economy are diverse segments, almost $30 trillion economy. Managing your household with a budget. It's a household debt, it's household finances, it's getting good debt, not bad debt. To growing your wealth, we need to move folks from renters to homeowners. The whole tax policy is designed around home ownership. 45% maximum of black people own a home compared to 75% of their white counterparts. There's 30% gap of GDP right there.
How much are brands risking their reputation by rolling back these DEI initiatives? And I mean, what is the impact of Americans holding back their dollars?
Well, I mean, look, boycotts are and picketing and protesting is as old as the Boston Tea Party. So, I mean, this is an important role for Americans to show their dissatisfaction when they have it. I do believe that companies that don't do this elegantly, that don't do this thoughtfully, that don't do this with measured response and show that they're actually for diversity, they're for the growth of communities and inclusion. They just don't want to be in the middle of a political battle because DE&I has been weaponized. Those companies who don't do that intelligently, thoughtfully, are at risk. And it might be that Target has become part of the Target in part because of that, and also in part because they had weaker financials in the fourth quarter of last year, making them a bit more of a, once again, no pun intended, a target. I think we're almost looking for love in all the wrong places. I mean, again, on the one hand, I commend the American spirit, and this is all people, all races of people who've been out here boycotting and letting their voices be known. But you can't just boycott yourself into the future. And you can't cut, and then with regard to the federal government, you can't cut yourself into prosperity either. So you can't cut and fire into a prosperity for nearly $30 trillion economy. And over here, you can't boycott yourself into a future vision alone. Dr. King had a vision when he had a protest, and it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And at the end of the day, I don't really care about DEI itself. It's been weaponized. It's been made political. It's effectively dead as a program. I'm fine with that. What I am excited about is the future of diversity in this country. In 1972, Janae, you're my mother, and the producers, if there's a white person behind you who is on your staff, their mother, so this is not about race, all of our mothers could not get a bank account in 1972. They could not get a loan unless their husband co-signed it, not 1872, 1972. So this debate was waged then. It was affirmative action. It was called affirmative action then.
Yeah.
It was about women. And luckily we won that debate, Janae. And now women are a third of the U.S. GDP. About $7-8 trillion are women. We'd be an also-ran country had we met. We'd be a third world country. We had not made that right decision back then.
It's with those numbers, though, John. It's with those numbers that you say America needs a new business plan, right?
Oh, without question. That is really what I'm about. And that's what we're going to be about on April 4th, by the way, the 57th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination in Memphis, Tennessee, when we articulate the unfinished dream and a new business plan for America that includes everybody.
So what is the plan? How does that happen? How do the boycotts that we're seeing today, that from your perspective may not have a middle, beginning, and an end, how do they make that happen?
Well, we got to pivot from protesting to prosperity. We've got to figure out how do you grow the economy? How do you expand the table and add a chair? And the way we say that is to look at I like math because it doesn't have an opinion. These companies that are being targeted are really middlemen in this debate. They're middlemen on this discussion. They're middlemen on tariffs. The reality is there's politics that's driving a lot of the dissension and a lot of the frustration, and has, in this case, politicized DE&I, and the companies are sort of caught in the headwinds and tailwinds of all of this. The way you get around this is to look at the data. The biggest and most diverse economy in the world is the United States of America. The biggest and most diverse states are California, New York, and then in the South, traditional South, is Atlanta. They're the most diverse and they're the biggest. The biggest companies, the most profitable companies today, are the most diverse and profitable. So the data shows that diversity is a business strength. Let's focus on that. So now let's take everybody who's protesting, whether you're white or black or brown or Yoder or yellow or red or blue in politics, let's turn it into some green. And let's show that by focusing on making the bottom 33% of America, Janae, into capitalists. Taking the bottom 33%. But by the way, this is what America's always done.
So it's teaching them to become business-minded, start their own businesses, make their own. That's what you're saying?
Yes, I think financial literacy is a civil rights issue of this generation. Black businesses, we have a 1 million Black businesses initiative with Shopify. They're not doing it for DEI. They're doing it because they want more Black shop owners on their platform. And we've delivered 450,000 of them, Janae, since George Floyd's murder. They're like, forget the moral aspects are great.
But you're saying diversity is just good for business, and that's what we need to focus on. John Hope Bryant, we could talk about this for hours. We appreciate you joining us to weigh in.
My honor to be with you, and thanks for focusing on it.
Black people, good morning. I have this theory that Black Americans really are the future. You know, if you really look at it, a lot of Black Americans have some kind of identity crisis. That's why you got all these people online claiming to be Native Americans and anything other but like just a normal Black American. And that want to attach ourselves to things that already are takes away from what is and what will be. We're always looking for roots backwards, but we need to understand that we are roots now. We are the culture. We are the spirit. We are the people that millions of others are going to descend from. I think white supremacy keeps people mentally and spiritually enshackled because the old way tells you who you are is where you come from, but who we are is where we're going. We all need to be a little bit more committed to progress. Have a good day.
Black people have always created the future. We created jazz, we created hip hop, we created rock and roll, we created all these things. And there are people who believe that we don't see ourselves in the future. For blacks, the past is painful, the present precarious, but the future is free. We always see ourselves in the future. Your future that you're living in is because black people imagined it. And he said, you're welcome.
I'm not addressing no more foundationally blacks, okay? Again, your story doesn't start with the United States making you black. The United States putting you on, you can be an American Indian and a citizen of the United States. First, you are either an American Indian or somebody from indigenous to North Africa taken with the law, the baby follows the belly in 1682. The United States acquired us as they won wars against Great Britain. That would be called British North America. That's how they got us. That's why they had to free us with the 14th Amendment and say, my bad, y'all was born here before we ever even formed this. So when you say you are the foundation that formed the United States, you are, as the indigenous people of North Africa and the indigenous people of North America. Those people who, and then when you say the people who founded the United States, those would be Haitians. Because the United States told you who they enslaved to create their United States census in 1790. They gave you the Bureau for refugees, people fleeing from Haiti, indigenous people from Haiti who were taken to France, and those from Haiti. Freedmen, those with African descent in the southern states, and abandoned lands. American Indians whose lands were stolen as they wiped us out of history. Yes, you founded the United States, but not because you're black, because you're American. They named you black. And as long as you keep going by that name, then you have no landmass to claim. You have no landmass to make claim to as long as you keep calling yourself a black citizen of the United States. You are American. You were here before the United States in 1682 to be enslaved by the law the baby follows the belly, which didn't free us until 1865. The United States didn't get here until 1777. So you were founding them as Americans. And then they stole us and put a label on you. Oh, you black. And now y'all gonna be like, oh, we made this and we the black slaves that made this. No, you are the American Indians. And they built their backs off of enslaving you, off of the genocide of you, off of over policing you. And you gonna keep calling yourself black? You are American Indian. The hell?
Child, y'all better pay attention to what's happening right now. Cracker Barrel, struggling. Target, struggling. Hospitals, shutting down. Why? Because the white dollar by itself won't keep these companies afloat. And while they play DEI, baby, they need our talent, ingenuity, and brilliance. And when black folks start pulling back their talent, their time, child, struggling. And we already seen what happened to Target. And when we start pulling our money back, baby, they gonna find out. See, what some white folks don't understand is this. Black people are a gift. Our ingenuity, our creativity, our brilliance. It's been the lifeline of this country. We've poured into it, even when this country gave us nothing in return. And let's not forget our buying power. Our buying power hit over $1.7 trillion in 2023. Baby, that's not pocket change. That's why we see these corporations chase us when they need us. But the second they're done, baby, they toss us to the side. And that's why I don't care if Cracker Barrel puts a poster of Barack Obama up. Baby, I'm still not eating there. And I don't care if Carnival Cruises comes crawling back talking about we love diversity. I see the game. I won't be back. And Target, let me be real clear. The last time I stepped foot in that store was the last time. Period. Y'all don't get to play in our faces. Use us when it's convenient, then toss us aside. Not anymore. Because above all, this country understands the dollar sign. And it's time we start reserving ours for us. That's why I keep saying black love, black unity, black strategy, black community. Because, baby, we need to build our own infrastructures from soup to nuts. So we won't be out here begging for a seat at their table anymore. Baby, those days are over. So if that resonates with you, join the movement. Baby, everybody won't get it. And that's fine. But those that do, we're still building. So drink your water. Stay rooted, real, and knowledgeable. And mind your black business. Happy Black History 365. And I'll see you next time.
I just found out only 13% of America's population is black. 13%? That's barely anybody. I thought for sure it was like at least a third. That just seemed like it made sense to me. I never looked it up or nothing. I just feel like you're looking around like seemed like a good third of everybody I see is black. Gotta be. The way the racists be talking and shit would have you believe that they make up like a fourth or some shit, or like a third or and maybe even half, damn near, like, they be talking about the great replacement and shit. White people still make up the majority, but like over 50%. The town that I grew up in was 51% black. Now I live in Atlanta. I just thought black people was everywhere. I mean, shit. 13%, that's crazy. That's like nobody. That's barely anybody. 13%. That's crazy. Yeah, 13% of the population, but they making up like 80% of the culture. And white people can't come up with shit.
Do you see that right there? Do you see that right there? Every black community across America got a street named after Dr. King. You understand? Now, some got one named after Malcolm X, you know, they scared of Malcolm. Some got one named after Ida B. Wells, so forth and so on. But every black community across the United States of America got one named after Dr. King. Streets named after Dr. King in black America are historic. So
man, I need to tell the black community, first of all, I'm not Black Jesus, okay? I don't like people calling me that, straight up. All right, I feel like I'm the new Malcolm X. You know what I'm talking about? I want to tell the black community this, and I want y'all to act on it if y'all feel. Or do y'all believe what I'm about to say, okay? Are y'all listening? Okay. So I believe the population numbers are wrong. I believe that the black population is the majority and that the white population is 13%. I believe the Latin population is correct, but in the 60s and shit like that, them numbers and categories, I believe that's the black population. And they reversed it for some psychological bullshit that they've been doing to us in history forever. We need to wake the fuck up.
So black Americans may immigrate differently. That's because we were taught a very special recipe. During enslavement, black people were routinely separated from our families. It was a way to control and weaken us and prevent us from organizing rebellions. Children were removed from their parents. Partners were moved to different plantations to clear the path for SA without retribution. We were intentionally prevented from establishing strong family connections. But we adapted by creating different types of family units. We saw our families beaten and shipped off to other plantations, and when we saw others from other plantations who received the same treatment shipped to ours. We welcomed them as family, letting them know that they had people and they were connected. This recipe was used during the Great Migration. As blacks migrated from the south to the north, they realized, oh, there's racism here too, and northern blacks would come alongside them and support them and let them feel protected and safe and that they had community. Even when we enter predominantly white spaces professionally, we instinctually look for black people in the room. I remember my grandmother took a family in. It was a co-worker of hers. She took the whole family in. They would come to all our family events. Nobody knew how they were related. They just knew that they were family. Ballroom houses or chosen family is one of the better representations in modern culture, this particularly in the LGBTQ plus community, of how this concept, this recipe works. If you're removed from support and find yourself in a different environment, you have community. You have people that will take care of you. We may not have a lot of resources, but we have a lot of love. We never stop passing down this recipe. It is family created out of necessity because we understand the power of chosen family. When we see people that look like us in a new environment, we look out for them. We make sure that they understand that they're connected, they're protected. And we will continue to connect with other cultures as well and build those relationships, especially as we learn different languages. We will become part of the culture. But the practice of black Americans seeking out other black Americans is an adaptation to a historical injury that was never corrected. So we correct it. So don't wonder if something's wrong with you because you desire community with other black Americans abroad. Recognize it as the recipe that the people who loved you handed to you to ensure that you knew how to survive.
But technically, we do have it. We have the bag.
We do.
1.3, listen to me, trillion dollars came through black people's hands in 2020. 1.1 trillion came in 2019 and 2018. That makes black people in America, in the scale of comparing us to 226 nations on earth, we are the 8th richest nation on the planet if we was independent. Right. Mexico only brought in 637 billion. Spain only brought in 700 billion. Mexico got 130 million people, taking care of a 700,000 square mile landmass. Spain got 46 million people. They taking care of 208,000 square mile landmass. They got all that land, The same amount of black people that's in America, 46 million in Spain, Mexico has triple that. Yet they are able to maintain an independent nation with half the money we have. So something wrong. Something wrong. So it's not that we need more. It's that we have to use.
How do you think the economy would look in America if all the black people just say, you know what, we out?
Why do you think they stopping? Your president just banned 12 countries about to ban, he said 25 more.
Yeah.
And like as I told you, all of them are brown countries.
Yeah.
Ghana was on that list.
I
so
saw
they
that.
already seen the exodus of black people getting more passports, getting more documentation for countries. They don't want your money leaving here. So now they about to play more games with us. You see what I'm saying as far as travel? They know what would happen. Now you got, because when I go over there, or I'm dealing with companies, they want us to come over there because we already know the game they playing. So they're getting educated off of black Americans about the games that's being played.
You think that the American economy will collapse?
Negro, in the damn ground. And then not only that, which is sad to say, you got a lot of white people who are bigoted and racist. They're going to turn on their own white people because they need somebody to hate. And they are going to annihilate the other white people who still here with them. They need somebody. Think about the Civil War. They was fighting each other.
Probably the poor whites. They're
Yeah,
going
they're going to annihilate. They're going to be the poor white people that annihilate the other ones because they're the ones that ain't got nothing.
True,
but
because it's
they
more poor
ain't got
than it's
nobody
wealthy.
else to hate. If you don't have nobody else to hate here, and that's your culture, that's part of your culture, what you going to do? You about to eat each other alive.
There is no other race that can relate to black people, period. There's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that can be said. No other race can relate to black people. Is that simple? You got some people that aren't black trying to mimic us, mimic our culture, mimic the way we sound, the way we talk, but they will never be able to relate to what we go through at all. I don't care how many rap videos you've been in. I don't care if you listen to NBA Youngboy, Kodak Black, Rod Wave. You'll never be able to relate to our culture, anything related to black people at all.
Shout out to those creators, right? Shout out to them. Now, let me tell you something. Let's talk about the spiritual aspect of this thing. Or let's talk about the prophetic. God has always used the rejected to correct the nation. And that is why Black America carries a weight no other group carries. The weight of moral authority. When Black America speaks, the world listens. When Black Americans rise, the nation shifts. When Black Americans hurt, the whole country shakes. This isn't power human gave Black American. This is power God assigned to Black America. Black America is the mirror that shows this nation who it really is. And until America honors the people who built it, until America also honors the people who built its soul, it will never find peace. I repeat. Anyways, I hope I'm not too tough, but whatever it is, it's coming from the heart. Now, let's still get into it, the truth. The truth is simple. America cannot move forward without people who moved it from the very beginning. Black America is not a side story. Black America is the story. So yes, the future of this country depends on Black America. On your voice, your courage, your brilliance, your resilience. And the day America finally honors that truth is the day America finally becomes the nation it claims to be. Yeah, I've said it several times. These people's sweat and their pains and their blood cannot be just, thrown under the carpet, washed away like that. The day that country start honoring these people's ability, they start honoring everything they've done, America will become number one. But right now, I can imagine every other country, China is coming. Everybody wants to become the world best. And if they keep going the way they're going, trust me, they will lose it. Yeah. Let me stop here. I would like to see your thoughts in the comments. You guys haven't been watching my videos to the end. What have I done to you? What have I done to you? Anyways, right? Whether you watch it or not, I'll keep doing what I have to do. Yeah, I'm called to do this and I'm happy. am honored to do it, right? Let's keep watching these videos. It will help us, right? Share these videos to your friends. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead, subscribe, like, and share these videos, right? I will come back today with another very strong one. You don't want to miss it. Turn on your notification button if you haven't, right? I'll see you next time. My name is BJ on Global Gist with BJ. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.